Yo, how's everybody doing? Don CRUZ here, CRUZ Performance. You know, every once in a while, working on these Holley harnesses, I'm very happy with how they turn out, especially when we get to the style that we have here. You know, we're fastly approaching 1,500 harnesses that we've done. Thank you very much. Can't do it without customers. Can't do it without the support from Holley. Holley supports us 100% the same way we support Holley 100% by building our harnesses correctly the way they want it to make sure that their products last and don't have any issues with their products, which we don't have any issues with their products because we wire them correctly and we support them correctly. So this is a wiring harness that a customer reached out to us. He's going to be doing 4L80 with Dominator, smart coils, Holley methanol injection, and so on. We'll go over it here. But why I want to point this out is we've done a lot of different things on this that we normally don't do because he knows what he wants, which is really cool. So we got our J1A, J1B, J2A, J2B, and then we'll have our we'll have our 4L80 harness, which is right here, not ours, but Holley's. That'll be connected to run his 4L80. Well, what makes this harness unique is we added 2 inputs and 2 outputs that the Dominator allows you to do, 2 harnesses for it, 2 connections for it. We did 8 outputs, extra outputs, and 8 extra inputs. We went ahead and wired those in there and sleeved it all in sealed loom, so that way he can utilize it and mount it under the passenger seat, in the back of the passenger seat. So what we did was we have a 10-pin connection here. It has a sensor grounds and has 4 inputs and 4 outputs, pre-wired for future adds that he wants in case he needs to add something inside the vehicle. Well, what's that something? That something could be 2-step, could be trans brake, could be transmission sensors, could be drive shaft sensors, anything he wants to add in the back. Inside the vehicle is the correct CAN bus. We use the correct CAN bus that Holley wants you to use, 4-pin CAN bus. We're not using old style. We're not using something that's not correct. We're using a Holley CAN bus, correct connector. Firewall grommet, everything's gonna come through the factory firewall, where the factory firewall harness would go. All important CRUZ fuse block and relays. Everything is done here. We call this our power distribution module. Our power wire, our 10-gauge direct power wire to the ECU, comes 10 gauge, comes out of the ECU, goes direct to the battery, just with a fuse interruption. Holley recommends, not actually recommends, they demand that you put the power wire directly to the battery. Got our blower motor connection, power tap setup that we did. This has sensor ground, sensor 5 volt, battery ground, and switch 12 volts for future adds. Map sensor. It's going with a PSI style, race style, 3.5 bar map sensor. Oh, by the way, all of our sensors are engraved. Every single one of our sensors is engraved, so that way there's no misidentification, there's no not understanding what they are. Every single one of them. This particular case, we already went ahead and pre-wired his boost controller. That's for his boost increase, that's for his boost decrease. One of the things we do here is we go with a simple setup. We don't want you to hook the increase into the decrease and your boost controller don't work, so we actually rotate the connectors so that way you can't plug them in backwards. So that way when we pre-wire it for you, you'll be ready to go, just plug it in and go. This is the external inputs and outputs. Customer wanted extra inputs and outputs. We're certainly here to provide what the customer wants and agree with them. So you got 4 outputs here, 4 inputs here. Ready to do any future adds. Shielded cable. Holley shielded cable. Any new ECU I don't care whether it's Holley, I don't care whether it's Haltech, which we do some harnesses for Haltech, Fuel Tech, GNECU or Blue Box, anything. A couple new ECUs that we're starting to work with that we're going to be doing some wiring for. They all want shielded cable on crucial sensors. Wideband, crank, and cam. Very important shielded cable on these high operation ECUs. Regardless of what opinions are, that's what the ECU manufacturers want. That's what we do here at CRUZ Performance. Move on to our starter. We've got a stagger here to make sure you got plenty of room, nice length, plenty of length to coordinate this nicely for a big stock starter or highly recommended new high torque starter. Fusible links on there, correct GM terminals, all the same. Even coil connector. How do we know it's even? Well, it tells me right there, even coil connector. How about that? Goes to the head, must go to the passenger head. Again, our shielded cable for the crank sensor. Engraved. How about this one? This one's set up for a CRUZ LS IAC adapter. New style LS IAC adapter. Get rid of that lazy old 40-year plus technology. Get rid of it. TPS sensor. Oh, well, yeah, tells you right there, TPS sensor. How about this one? Pre-wired for methanol, polymethanol sensors. Goes right to the solenoids. Knock sensor, factory injector harness, which we'll go into our injector harness here in a minute. Odd coil. Here we go, odd. Again, cam sensor. Now this particular one, we've got this actually backwards from the way we normally do a harness because this customer knows he's going to be using our billet cam sensor and our 12-1 crank trigger. So when we do that, we actually stagger the wires opposite the way we do a factory harness. So that way they can run down separate sides and plug in seamlessly and really nice. Alternator connection, fuel pressure sensor connection, inlet temp sensor, AC, all important AC, and of course the C100. This vehicle doesn't have Power Master. We could have Power Master. This vehicle is going to use a Holley dash, so there's no need for any under dash connections when you're not doing when you're not doing factory dash, which most of our customers don't do. They tend to do the Holley 12.3. Thank you. We don't need to incorporate that under dash harness. So, you know, as you can see, very nice harness laid out. Power tap, boost control, direct to the battery, extra inputs and outputs. This guy definitely knew what he wanted to do. In addition to, he's getting our dual fan, Intrepid dual fan hot wire kit with our connector, with our relays, and with our distribution module, with our relays and fuses inside there. Go directly and work seamless. Intrepid dual fans. All of our kits, we recommend LS coils or smart coils. We can do a stock coil. We don't recommend it. Our good friend and very good business associate, Jeremy Oliver, did a factory install about 8 months ago, and the customer literally drove off with the car and drove it back and said, get rid of it. So we got, there's issues with the stock coil. Not that there's issues on our end, but there's issues inherent to a stock coil. If that's what you want, we've got success rate with it. We can do it. We highly recommend going with CRUZ Performance hot wire smart coil harness, all engraved, so they plug in, so that way we don't have any issues with which one's which, odd, even, and so on. This is our LS coil version of it for our Terminator X kit that we make. Again, laser engraved with the numbers on it. How about a very, very high-end injector harness? All sealed loom with 90-degree boots, laser engraved, no issues. Plenty of length. Gives you some nice offset length so you can run it underneath the rails, very nice and stealth. Run it from the back. No struggling, tugging on getting it to fit. It's a very, very clean, nice fit. Why? Because CRUZ Performance installs all of this stuff. We know what you need for it to work because we need it to work when we're doing installs in here. Very nice sealed loom package with these boots and laser engraved. This is our dash piece for the 12.3. 100% plug-in dash piece when you put a 6.8 in, 12.3. Any of those will go directly into the Holley ECU with their plug and their CAN bus, which will go into, as you can see, That's the dash CAN bus. That's the CAN bus that plugs directly into the connector we use. No adapters needed, no old stuff, no wrong stuff. Everything plugged right in there. This will give you your turn signals, your high beams, your fuel level, everything you need, so that way you can have all the functions of your factory dash. So again, just a quick recap. Very proud of this particular harness because of the way we went a little further with adding the extra inputs and outputs, which actually laid in the J2A and the J2D connector, which allows him to have boost control. This is a man that certainly thought through his process. We worked together to go over this custom harness to make sure it's right, so he doesn't have any cookie cutter stuff that he has a bunch of extra stuff in there that he don't like. So, you know, thank you. Grateful for where we've been, grateful for where we're going. Everybody have a good day. You got any questions, go ahead and reach out to us, and we'll be glad to answer all your Holley questions, all your needs. CRUZ Performance is a certified platinum Holley dealer. Certified platinum Holley dealer. CRUZ Performance. Thank you. Bye-bye.